scorching Egyptian sun beat down on the barren desert landscape as Jamie, an adventurous tourist, marveled at the ancient wonders surrounding him. He stood before the grand structure of the mortuary temple of Hatshepsut, dedicated to the great female pharaoh of Egypt. Little did Jamie know that this visit would change his life forever. Entranced by the history and mystique of the site, Jamie explored the intricacies of the temple, running his hands over the weathered stones that held centuries of secrets. As he reached the inner sanctum, a peculiar urge gripped him. A whisper in the wind seemed to call his name, and inexplicably, he felt drawn to the tomb of King Hatshepsut herself. Unbeknownst to Jamie, the ancient spirits stirred within the depths of the tomb. As he stepped into the dimly lit chamber, an unseen force seized hold of him, and a rush of energy surged through his body. In that moment, the spirit of Queen Hatshepsut merged with Jamie, creating a fusion of past and present. Initially, Jamie remained oblivious to the changes occurring within him. It started subtly, with strange cravings for foods and fabrics he had never desired before. He would find himself yearning for rare jewels and exotic spices. However, it wasn't long before more sinister changes began to manifest. Oddly vindictive behavior emerged from Jamie's once charismatic personality. He became consumed by anger, lashing out at friends and strangers alike. The air around him seemed heavy with an ancient rage that transcended time. To add to the mystique, Jamie discovered an ability to speak an Egyptian language he had never studied or encountered before. The words flowed effortlessly from his lips, as if the spirit of Hatshepsut guided his tongue. The most disturbing of all was the deadly touch that developed within Jamie. Anyone unfortunate enough to come into contact with him would fall gravely ill, their skin erupting in strange boils. After a torturous period of sickness, death would claim them, and a shadow would emerge from their mouth, dissipating into the air. Desperation mounted as Jamie's best friend, Carla, witnessed the destruction left in his wake. Unable to bear the suffering and death surrounding him, she sought help from a renowned professor of ancient history. In a hushed conversation, Carla recounted the bizarre events that had befallen Jamie. She spoke of the strange cravings, the vindictive behavior, the newfound language, and the deadly touch that seemed to emanate from him. The professor listened intently, his eyes widening with each revelation. Realizing the gravity of the situation, the professor decided to delve into the ancient texts and seek guidance from the very history that seemed to have possessed Jamie. The journey to save Jamie from the grip of Queen Hatshepsut's spirit had begun, and Carla clung to the hope that her friend could be rescued from the darkness that now consumed him. The professor assembled a team, choosing experts in Egyptology and paranormal phenomena. Together, they would venture into the heart of the tomb, armed with knowledge and a determination to free Jamie from the ancient curse. The journey to Egypt was fraught with anticipation and anxiety. The team arrived at the mortuary temple, guided by Carla, who felt a mix of hope and dread. As they descended into the depths of the tomb, the air grew heavy with an otherworldly energy. Their path was fraught with danger. Scorpions scuttled in the shadows, and ancient death traps threatened to ensnare the unwary. The professor led the way, carefully avoiding pitfalls and deciphering hieroglyphs that warned of imminent peril. Deep within the tomb, they found Jamie, a mere shell of the person he once was. The cravings, the vindictive behavior, and the deadly touch had intensified, and the spirit of Hatshepsut reveled in its newfound vessel. The professor initiated the ritual, chanting ancient incantations, while Carla and the team formed a protective circle around him and Jamie. As the words echoed through the tomb, the air crackled with energy, and the spirit within, Jamie, resisted the intrusion. Suddenly, the tomb came alive with malevolent forces. Scorpions swarmed, and death traps activated with a deafening clatter. In the chaos, the team fought to maintain the ritual, but the spirit fought back with a fury that transcended the ages. As the battle between the living and the ancient spirit raged on, the air thickened with darkness. Jamie, the professor, and Carla struggled against the overwhelming forces that sought to claim them. In a final, desperate act, the professor channeled all his knowledge and strength into the ritual. The spirit resisted fiercely, but with a blinding burst of light, it was forced back into the depths of the tomb. However, the victory came at a devastating cost. The scorpions and death traps proved too formidable, claiming the lives of Jamie, the professor, and Carla. As the shadows of their souls dissipated into the air, the tomb fell silent once more, the ancient curse broken, but leaving a haunting legacy of sacrifice and loss.